Hi my dear students, welcome to my biology class. As we all know that there are millions of species on the earth, but we could find out only a few million species. It is impossible to study all group of organisms one by one. It is made possible by classifying the organisms into convenient categories. So, today we are going to learn about classification in detail. What is classification? How is it done? What are the concepts related to classification? So, today's topic is classification. Then all of you look at here. If you get a group of pens like this, how would you classify them? You may classify them according to the color at first. Sometimes you may classify them according to the shape or size. Sometimes you may classify according to the utility of the pen. Here I can group them as marker pen, like this, marker pen. All these are marker pens. These three are blue gel pen. These three are red gel pen. So this is the way we can group them according to the shape, color, size and utility. There are certain criteria for classifying the things, both living things and non-living things. Here I am going to talk about the living things and its classification. When we consider the living things, classification is a process by which the organisms grouped into convenient categories based on some easily observable characteristics. Here, just before I have shown you a group of pens. Then we can classify them or we can group them according to the size, shape, color or utility. So based on the easily observable features. Similarly, in the case of living organism, we can group them according to or based on certain easily observable features. That is classification. What is classification? The process by which organisms grouped into convenient categories based on some easily observable characters is called classification. For example, when we think about dogs, we remember the features of dogs. Dogs have similar common features. All dogs have a similar common features that reflect in our mind. So, dogs represent a category. Dogs represent a category. The scientific term for a category is taxon. Taxon is the singular form, taxa is the plural form. Taxa means categories. Taxon category, taxa categories. Taxa is the plural form. Okay, again the dogs are animals. So animals represent another category. Animals, because they have the fundamental features of animals, so they are included in the category of animals. Again, when we think about the reproductive features, dogs are mammals. Okay, here the word dogs, animals and mammals, all these taxa or categories represent those in different levels. Dogs in one level, animals in another level, then mammals in another level. So these categories represent in different levels in the classification system. Did you get it? Then what can we understand from this example? Based on certain easily observable features, organisms can be categorized into various taxa or categories. This process of classification is called taxonomy. Taxonomy is a branch of science which deals with the characterization, identification, classification and nomenclature of the organism. It's a branch of science which deals with what? First of all, characterization. Second one, identification. Then classification and nomenclature. These are the processes that are basic to taxonomy. Not only these processes, the modern taxonomy includes the study of the external and internal features of an organism along with its cell structure, that means cell type, whether it is prokaryote or eukaryote. Then the developmental pattern, direct or indirect development, the developmental pattern and the ecological information of the organisms. Those are the basic processes in modern taxonomy. Do you know the person who proposed taxonomy? He is Carl Linnaeus. Carl Linnaeus. He is known as the father of taxonomy. Carl Linnaeus is known as the father of taxonomy. Then why is he known as the father of taxonomy? As he has given certain basic procedures or ideas on taxonomical studies. He could give some terms like genus, species, class, order, and variety. These were the terms proposed or contributed by Carl Linnaeus. These have been used for classification process. These have been selected as the taxonomical categories. Later on, certain new terms were added to the taxonomical categories. Those are kingdom, phylum and family. So these are the newly added terms or taxonomical categories. Each group represents a category or a taxon. Each plant or animal can be placed in different levels, like either in genus, species, class, order, kingdom, phylum, family. Later on, the term variety has been changed. Nowadays, taxonomists have been using certain terms or categories in classification process. Those are kingdom, phylum, family, genus, species, class and order. So these are known as taxonomic categories. There is another branch of science which deals with the categorization of living organisms, that is systematics. The word systematics is derived from the Latin language, which means the systematic arrangement of living organism. Systematic arrangement of living organism. Okay, the word systematics was also proposed by Linnaeus. He used this particular word in his publication Systema Naturae at first. Systema Naturae. Systematics is a branch of science which deals with the not only identification, nomenclature and classification, but also the evolutionary relationship among the living organisms. It studies about the relationship between the organism, the present organism with the past. How are they evolved from the past organism? That is systematics. Next, let's study about taxonomic categories. Taxonomic categories. Classification is not a simple process. It's a complex procedure or a process which involves different steps or different groups of organisms which are placed in different hierarchical steps or taxonomic categories. Each group in the taxonomical hierarchy represents a category or a rank. Each step is called a rank or a category. The scientific name for the category is the taxon. Okay, then I have told you that in the classification process, the animals are placed in different hierarchical steps. Those are together termed as taxonomical categories. So each category is referred to as unit of classification. Unit of classification. Okay, the major taxonomic categories used in the classification process are kingdom, phylum, phylum for animals and division for plants, phylum or division, class, order, family, genus, species. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 taxonomic categories in the classification process. Kingdom to species. When we arrange these taxonomic categories in ascending order means the smallest to the biggest. That is ascending order. Species is the lowest case, that means the lowest category, the basic category in the hierarchy of classification. So species is the lowest or basic category. Species is a group of related individuals which have some common similar features and are able to interbreed among themselves to produce fertile offsprings. That means they show or exhibit more similar features. So these are the lowest or basic category with the more similarities. That means a more number of similarities. Here the highest category is kingdom. Highest category. Here highest category means the kingdom. There are mainly 2 kingdoms, animal kingdom, the kingdom Animalia and the kingdom Plantae. So there are wide varieties of plants and animals on the earth. So it is the highest category and shows wide varieties, means more variation or more differences. Highest category with the more differences. Okay, did you get which is the basic or lowest unit? That is a species. The highest one is the kingdom. So in between there are phylum, class, order, family, genus. Here the highest category is kingdom. The kingdom consists of different phyla or divisions, that each phylum consists of various classes. Then each class consists of various orders and each order has various families. Each family has various genera. Each genus has different closely related species. Each category is interconnected. When we arrange them in ascending order, that means from smallest to the highest category, we must put the arrow like this: species to genus, genus to family, then to order, class, phylum, kingdom. So this is the ascending order. When we arrange them in descending order, the largest or highest to the lowest, we have to put the arrow in opposite direction. So kingdom to the species, highest to the lowest category. So this is known as the hierarchy of classification. This hierarchy of classification represent the different levels in the classification process. So species level to kingdom level, species to genus, then to family, then to order, class, phylum and kingdom. Got it? That is the arrangement of taxonomic categories in the classification process. Here we need to understand one important thing. Genus is a group of closely related species. Family is a group of closely related genera. Order is a group of closely related families. Class is a closely related group of orders. Phylum or division is a closely related group of classes. Kingdom is a group of closely related phyla or divisions. So each category is interconnected with the next one. Here we need to understand one important thing. As it goes to the higher categories, the number of similarities decreases. See, species is a group of closely related animals with the common fundamental features. When it goes to genus, the number of similarity decreases. Again to family, again the number decreases, the similarity decreases. When it goes to the order, to the next higher level, to the highest level, the number of similarities will be less and the number of differences will be more. So as it goes in higher and higher categories, the number of similarities decreases and the number of differences increases. So that we can say the kingdom comprises wide varieties of animals and plants. Got it? We will learn about each taxonomic category in detail with examples in the next class. I hope you understood the topic well. What is classification? What are taxonomy and systematics? What are taxonomic categories in the classification? With this, I conclude my session. Then thank you and have nice moments.